Hi everyone, and welcome to our presentation for Research and Creativity Day. We are going to be discussing today about our process of researching and creating a piece of children's literature for the Fredericksburg Story Project. My name is Dr. Wells, and I am the professor of EDUC 311, and the students in this class created this book together this semester. We're looking forward to sharing this work with you in this presentation. So first, a little context for this project. EDUC 311 is literature and the arts for elementary classrooms. And in this class, we talk a lot about children's literature and arts integration in the context of elementary education. So one of the projects for this class is a children's book project. And in this project, it has both a community-facing aspect and a standards-facing aspect. The community-facing aspect traditionally has involved working with actual area elementary teachers to see a need in their classroom and writing a book to fill that need. The standards facing aspect is that the need has to relate to Virginia standards of learning. So traditionally, we've worked individually with classroom teachers, but this semester we had a different opportunity.
So this semester, we put together a book that's going to be featured at the Fredericksburg River Heritage Trail. So Dr. Leslie Martin, who's the faculty director for UMW Center for Community Engagement, helped us find this opportunity so that we could still do this project in a way where we weren't necessarily able to work with classroom teachers at local schools. So the way it works is people who are walking down the trail can stop at each sign and read a page of the book. And then as they keep walking, they pass the other pages and they can continue reading the book.
So our process, our research for this, we consulted with Callie Brown at the Fredericksburg Department of Parks and Recreation and Events. And they are, throughout their vision for the project, they're the ones who are putting this up and putting up all of those signs. Then we also did a lot of research. The Department of Parks, Recreation, and Events wanted us to focus on river safety and wildlife in the area. So we did research on river safety as well as Virginia wildlife in this area. We also looked at the Virginia standards of learning, and we looked at collage creation and children's literature illustrations with a focus on Eric Carle, who is a famous author commonly known for books like The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And we also looked at diversity and inclusion.
The creation process was also very fun and informative. For the draft, we knew we wanted our end goal to be 20 signs with a few sentences per page and some good illustrations. So to reach that, we experimented with lots of different methods, such as class voting, sharing thoughts on Google Slides, or if someone just felt very passionately about an idea, we would go with that. And that's how we ended up with a main character who is non-binary and also represented racial diversity. As for the final product of creation, we used illustrations like collage techniques. So everyone got to paint their own piece of paper, and then we shared them to cut out different images. And we had a team member who was generous enough to do the digital editing in Photoshop for text and scanning and that sort of thing.
So we have a couple pictures to share with you today showing our process. So here we are creating our collage background. So the whole idea behind this technique is that instead of creating an image that has everything in it at one time, we make one color with our paints. And so here you're seeing that we're painting our papers green and yellow and blue, but we're also doing research on what an authentic rendition would look like. So we were making sure that we were accurately painting those papers. We're also using a variety of techniques to bring texture and other kinds of visual interest into those collage papers.
So on top of our collage making, we had an in-person aspect as well as a digital version aspect. Unfortunately, I'm not an in-person student. I am virtual online, so I was not able to participate with our in-person activity. So I was able to do the digital process. Along with Dr. Wells, she was able to scan the collages that were made and sent to me so I can add in.
So we definitely appreciated Katie's contributions with the digital editing on these collages in progress as well. And now we're going to have a read aloud by our actual authors. Enjoy.
Alex's Day on the Rappahannock by UMW EDUC 311 students.
One warm, sunny day in downtown Fredericksburg, Alex and their parents were walking by the Rappahannock River when they saw some people floating on the river. "What are they doing?" Alex asked their parents. "Well, they are tubing," Mom responded, pointing to the floating tubes the people were on. "They looked like the donuts they got every Saturday morning from Freddy's Donuts." "That looks fun. Can we do it too?" Alex asked.
Alex's parents thought for a minute before finally replying with a smile. "Yes, we can, but we have to make sure we're safe while we do it." "What can I do?" Alex asked. Alex learned that to go on the river, they had to all wear their personal flotation devices, which Dad called PFDs. The life jacket was snug around Alex's chest and tummy, and Dad made sure to pull on the shoulder straps to ensure that it didn't go up past Alex's chin. Fun fact, there are different types of PFDs that you can wear in the water. Alex is wearing a type 3.
It was a beautiful day to go tubing on the Rappahannock River. There was not a cloud in sight, and everyone looked like they were having so much fun. Before they started tubing, Alex and their family looked around. They spotted a bunch of wildlife. Can you find them too?
Before joining the wildlife on the river, Alex checked the water level with a measuring stick to make sure it was safe to tube. Soon, Alex and their parents were tubing down the river. They felt the cool blue water and even became friends with a duck. They were having so much fun on the river.
When Alex and their family were tubing in the river, Alex saw an empty takeout cup and plastic bag floating along the way. Alex looked to their mom and asked, "Why is there trash in the water?" Their parents looked at each other and replied, "That is pollution. Some people just toss their trash around instead of throwing it away." After Alex and their family floated farther along the river, more and more trash seemed to be floating in the water.
Alex started thinking about how all of the trash they saw could put the animals living along the river at risk. "Mom, Dad, look, there's more trash on the river. This is really bad. What can I do to help?" Alex asked. Alex's mom mentioned that there were 3 ways that they can help. First, we can plant more trees to reduce erosion. Second, we can pick up trash around the rivers and waterways. Third, she said, we can use less plastic and switch to reusable containers and bags.
Alex and their family came up with a plan. They were going to come back another day to help clean up the river. They thought of the materials they would need to bring. Suddenly, Alex and their parents came across a group of people cleaning up a small beach. "I know what I can do. I'm going to help too," Alex said. "That's great," said one girl as she picked up a plastic cup. "There's always more work to be done."
A week later, Alex and their family headed back to the river. They made sure to bring their river cleanup and safety equipment. "I'm excited to go back to the Rappahannock River. I hope it hasn't gotten too bad since we've been away," Alex said with worry. As Alex and their family drove by the river, they noticed that the Rappahannock River looked cleaner than before, with not a can, bag, or bottle in sight.
"Hey, this is the spot that was full of trash before," exclaimed Alex. "It looks so much better." "Everyone will be able to enjoy the river a lot more now," said Alex's mom. "We've done our part. Now it's your turn," announced Alex. "See if you can help out by picking up at least 5 pieces of trash where you live."
About the authors, we hope you enjoy this journey with Alex readers. We are students at UMW who want to be future teachers, and we wrote this book as a class project for a class called Literature and the Arts in Elementary Classrooms. We worked with local groups to research our book contents. Did you know that all the plants and animals in this book are originally from this area of Virginia? And then we brainstormed the story together. We study how Eric Carle uses collage techniques in his books and used them in ours too. We hope you enjoy our book that was made especially for our Fredericksburg community.
And that's the end. So thank you for attending our Research and Creativity Day presentation. This book will be up on the trail from June through August. So if you find yourself down near the park, please do stop by, take a stroll, and read. Thanks again for attending our presentation.